Hello and welcome to the Google Classroom. First, you're going to start by opening a new tab in whatever browser you prefer, and you're going to click on your waffle here in the Google home screen. When you scroll through, you should be able to find that you have Classroom right there. You can also just Google Google Classroom and it will pop up as well. Here's your home page, and if you are part of any other classrooms, they will show up here. This is my personal account, so none of my teaching ones are actually here. To create a new classroom, you just press the plus button, and you can either join a class or create a class. If you join a class, it's going to ask for a class code that you do have when you open. So that way, if you have access to your students' emails ahead of time, you can add them as a student in the actual People tab, or you can just give them this class code to actually join the classroom. For instance, if you also have multiple teachers, you can just put their emails in here, and then they will have editing permission to be able to go through, review assignments, and actually be able to mark things. And you can also add your students in the same fashion, but they will have a different view from what you will as a teacher. This is your stream and your main page. Think of it as your Facebook wall. So this is just the space where people can actually post and students can post, and so can teachers, and people are also able to comment. What we would recommend is, instead of putting only your assignments up on your stream, breaking it up with different visual aids, questions, or whatever you would like to ask your class. So here you can create an assignment, a quiz assignment, which you can link to Google Forms. You can pose a question, you can add different material, or you can reuse a post. And let's reuse a post. Now this will get reassigned and reused. You can also schedule for when you would actually like this to be reused and reposted. So this would be really great if you're doing weekly reminders or weekly check-ins to remind students of what assignments are coming up. So that way your format is already there. You can just simply edit it to how you want and schedule it for what day, which is really great when you're trying to plan your classroom ahead of time. If we were to create an assignment, you could just click create and click assignment. But briefly, I want to show them the different ways that you can actually post this. So as we've put it in different headers, how other people like to use it is putting different units as their headers instead. And then all of the assignments for that unit are under it. So the format that Ange and I kind of used was, we put the learning outcomes, and then we also put these student assignments to make it very clear what is expected out of the students and what they're going to be weighted. There's the rubric included, and any other links that were found in the lesson, we actually also linked additionally. That way students have multiple ways of achieving and multiple ways to obtain the same information that we're trying to get them to use and research with. You can also include your own rubrics, which is very handy because if you decide to do it with the scoring, it'll actually do the math for you and instantly make sure that that mark is there for the student. So if you have something assigned, you can see who's turned it in, how many people actually were assigned this assignment. So in order to review, right now we don't have anything handed in here, but if there was something submitted, it would just say 1. You would click it, and then it would bring you into the scoring tab where your rubric is right next to the submission, and then there's also a space for feedback. To show you how grades work briefly, if you were to assign something to a student, you can either do it in the drafts of the grading section once you click turned in, or you can go in here and manually enter your marks as well. Notice how it says draft. If you want to put the marks out to your students, you just click return. And when you are in that submissions tab, what you can do is return all. So that way you can take your time marking and people aren't going to be coming up to you saying, hey, I noticed so-and-so got their assignment back. I'm still waiting for mine. You can mark them as you go. And as soon as they're ready to be returned all, you can return them all. So just to show a difference, again, that's a little recap of how Angie and I like to format it. And this is how Oliver went to format it. He gave a brief descriptor over each one and then put the documents inside. Some people like to use the point system as their weighting system as well. So something that is a smaller project can be worth 20 marks, 10 marks, or 5 marks, and bigger assignments being worth more in terms of points. Or how I like to do it is everything is out of 100 points, but I actually have different categories and different category weights in my mark book. So what I do is I have the different assignments matched to their category weight. So a diagnostic is worth a 1, a formative is worth a 2 to 3, and then a summative is worth a 4 to 5, depending on the assignment itself. And then when I put the marks in, they're always out of 100. And then Markbook figures out the exact calculations because it also has a feature where I can also put the category weights. You can put your due dates in here in specific times. So if you have everything already lined up, you can say exactly when you want things to actually close out or open up. So you can close submissions after the due date if you want. And you can actually put them under the different topics, which is why some people like to use topics as the actual units, because then they can make sure the correct lesson is going toward the correct unit. You can create your own rubrics additionally, or you can reuse one, which I really like doing, because then a lot of my framework is already there for me when I go to edit it. So really all I have to edit at that point is the criterion description and title, and making sure that my levels actually match for the criteria itself. Just a little less work to save you some time. One last thing. If we go here, you might notice that some of them are pink and some of them are gray. Depending on what color theme you use, it will use, I believe, the complementary color to show you what is live and what has still been yet to be posted. Some people like to have startup sections like Ange does, and she just used these as examples from her actual Google Classroom that she uses for her TAS and TIJ and TXJ courses. And so these are overviews that go into just some of the finer details for both the students and parents to get them prepared and welcomed to the class and have an informed idea of what the class is going to look like for the semester. But yeah, we hope that you enjoyed our Google Classroom quick how-to and hope you have a great day.